Boom! Covers halftime live Thursday night football. New England Patriots, Atlanta Falcons. He is David Sanchez. I am Adam Chernoff, and we are here looking at a game that is, well, we'll say it's slightly more exciting than some of the last few Thursday night games we've dealt with, but certainly far from any grand excitement that we were maybe anticipating. But I guess that pregame number sort of put a damper in that. Davis, second half numbers coming out in just a second here. You're actually optimistic that we've got a wager. Last Monday, we had pretty good lean on both the side and the total. What are we looking at here with the Pats 2.5-point favorites, total 21.5?
Yeah, we're looking at totals here. We're going to get into you chirping guys on a national broadcast in a minute. Let's get right to business first and foremost, though, talk about this. You know, coordinators enter a game, usually schematics, or, they play a big part of your personnel, what you can and can't do. It's funny, too, in the NFL, how blunt a coordinator would be. I knew going into a game, if our personnel couldn't hang, they would just bluntly say, hey, look, our personnel, we can't play a lot of man coverage. We're going to have to do this. You go from college where they'll sugarcoat it. But I saw early in the first half, you looked at over and over, the Patriots played man coverage and completely blanked the Falcons. It happened on every third down, on every second down pass play. It was man, and there weren't receivers open anywhere. Then all of a sudden we see about 3 minutes into the second quarter, it was zone coverage,
Switch.
And Atlanta had some success. So you're thinking, what's going on? Why are they doing that? I believe, and we talked about it, I really believe that the reason why this is happening is because Belichick wants to. He's not stupid. He sees that he was having a ton of success in man. He wants to give Arthur Smith and Matt Ryan a different look. So they're not seeing so much man. The receivers get comfortable. They want to give them something else to look at going into the half. I'm almost certain. Therefore, I think we're going to see Belichick. Just give him that. Belichick in the second half, back to a whole bunch of man coverage. I think this game goes over. Two reasons. One, the Patriots are going to play a ton of man coverage in the second half, a lot more. And two, the Pats can move the ball against Atlanta. If they finish in the red zone, they're going to score points. They're going to score at least 14, I believe.
So the pick is over 21.5 for the second half.
Absolutely. I thought it was going to – we saw 23, 24, similar 23. But if it's 21.5, which is what I see now, for those reasons, Belichick just gave them a sprinkle of that zone, so they take that into the half with them. They know they can lock down a man. Now they're going to get a bunch of man. They'll have shots to go down the field. You got to go over here at 21.5. There's absolutely no question I go over.
So let me ask you a couple things here on this.
Yeah.
So let's say that the Falcons now behind 13 points.
I'm not giving you eye contact because I'm jamming this in right now, but go ahead.
Hey, if it's a betting show, you got to be betting while we're doing the show. I understand. But I just want to talk this out a little bit.
Yeah.
So the Falcons now are down 13. Say the Pats push this out to 20. We know that when you're playing man coverage, there's the chance for big plays. The Falcons are going to be pushing down the field. It's going to be tight coverage, but they're going to have a chance to break one. Is there a chance that we see the Pats with potentially a 3-touchdown lead here revert to the zone and sort of play in a prevent? Is that at all possible, or do you think that this is just a back and forth all game?
No, I think we'd be silly not to recognize that's a possibility for sure. But also with that, Adam, you also get back if they're up 3 touchdowns if they're up 3 touchdowns, we have to understand it's going to get back. There's backdoor possibilities as well that come into play with that. So with one comes the other. When you look at that, I mean,
yes, for sure. And then what I would add to that too, when we're looking at this over, is the Pats are running for 5.5 a carry. They're completely bullying the Falcons' defensive line. They have the linebackers all twisted around. So if you have a situation where the Pats are ahead by that much, I don't think they're going to be trying to push the ball passing. But if they're forced to run, I mean, they're going to move the football as is on this Falcons defense.
And look, what do we have for a spread right now? Second half line.
It was down below 3. We're looking at 2.5 aside here.
Look, and if I have a lean on the second half, I would lean Pat's second half as well. Look, they got Kyle Duggar, 23. Remember this, J.C. Jackson is one of the top corners in the league. Pay attention on passing down when Pitts is in the slot. Who's covering him? 23 is J.C. Jackson not covering him. Dugan is covering him, and he's a safety. But if you look at his grade through the season, he's a guy week in and week out at the safety position who grades out as good as J.C. Jackson when it comes to coverage. Now, we understand he's not covering the same guys J.C. Jackson is week in and week out. But when your safeties can cover like that, Bill and that defense have lots of things they can do coverage-wise. I think they feel pretty comfortable. But also I took a look at that too, and that's another reason I lean Pats. I think they feel pretty good matchup-wise.
It's always great to watch Belichick because we know he's fantastic at eliminating the top option that an opposing offense has. So he's put Duggar on Pitts, and Pitts has been held to 1 catch for 7 yards. But we've seen sort of late in that drive that the Falcons had where it was a penalty that took them off, the 3 points off the board, forced them to kick again. Ryan was finding other guys. Gage was open for a couple of plays. So despite the pressure, he was still willing to push it downfield. Something I would ask here too that carries over from last game. Falcons got blown out 43-3. End of the third quarter, Arthur Smith said, that's it. Pulled the entire starting offense off the field, essentially benched them for the fourth quarter. Does now seeing this scoreboard 13-0, does that not mean we're maybe going to see a little bit more aggression, at least coming off a performance where you're benched, you're getting blown out in the first half, you're getting bullied at the line of scrimmage? Surely you get a little bit of an effort here from Ryan in the offense.
I was shaking my head because I thought you were going to say, would he do it again if they got blown out again? So I was shaking my head. But no, it's a great point. Yeah, certainly. No question. No question. I mean, there's several reasons. That's one. What else did I have? I just want to see if I didn't miss anything that I had in the notes early on.
Hey, the notes have got to be awfully interesting if you're writing it down, a football mind like you watching the game. Like, we've got to have something good on there that we're missing. I'm leaving you hanging with that one, but I'll put one more point for the over. If you've got the Falcons in that spot where they're trying to maybe be a little bit more aggressive, and you're at home, you're getting run out after you get blown out by the Cowboys, there's likely a situation here where we're seeing potentially on their side of the field a 4th down that they're going to have to go for it. I think earlier in the game rather than later, that they get maybe a little bit desperate too, to try to do something which will lead to a short field. I just think the Pats' run game is going to be so important in the second half. The way they're moving it, Atlanta has no answer for them. And so that benefits the over, I think, and how they're able to run the football too. Agree.
I think we can never underestimate the fact that a national televised game, everybody watching. I mean, I'm sure Mac Jones is a team guy, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind putting up some touchdowns in the passing game and getting that going as well, because I mean they got stuffed in the red zone a few times. They want to put 7s on the board. Well, yeah.
All right, we've got the second half coming to an end. The pick, second half over 21.5. Davis has been red hot all season with the second half bets. Let's get to the window with over 21.5.
Hey, and can we get back to you chirping Terry Bradshaw on the broadcast, or what?
You get paid. I don't know how much they get paid. Come up with something better.
Well, you said that their information was useless. Now, a lot of people listening might think my information is useless too compared to yours, but I'll tell you what, and they're probably right. But I will tell you this: when you're on the national broadcast, they have a lot of things to worry about, like what they're going to order for delivery at halftime. Makeup, who's doing the makeup, how much you're going to put on, all that type of shit. Adam, I mean, come on, focus. We don't have all the time you have to dig into the things like analytics and watching film and all those important things that you look at.
Well, perhaps then there's an innovation nowadays. It's called the smartphone. Maybe when they're getting eyeliner to not look like they're 75 years old, they can come up with something a little bit better than talking about a Super Bowl score in a game tonight.
Yeah, no,
entirely different rosters. Come on, they can be better.
I put them on mute, to be honest with you. I was actually trying to catch up to you. I was watching game from on one screen, and I had them on mute on the other. So I'm with you, my man. That's for sure.
A pro's pro. He is Davis Sanchez. I'm Adam Chernoff for Covers.com.
Hey,
the second half pick over 21.5. Let's get a few points. We will talk to you guys Monday Night Football for Giants Buccaneers. I'm sure we'll get some Super Bowl references there too.